The ability to protect the lives of ourselves and others. This is what the Second Amendment provides us, among other things. And that unalienable right just saved lives of several people in Los Angeles, but the powers that be won't tell you about it. Why? Because they hate us and they hate our Second Amendment. Before I jump into that, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that's Lear Capital. I know I've talked a lot about gold in this show, but silver is also a fantastic investment, and many financial experts believe silver is the best kept secret in investing. It's an industrial metal. It's used in everything from cell phones, batteries, electronics, solar, electric vehicles, and the list goes on and on. 4 years ago, silver was in surplus. Solar was a tiny source of demand, and AI wasn't even a thing, but now silver's in a deficit. Solar's very huge, and AI is the new buzz that's consuming silver. If you're considering silver or want to learn more, call my friends at Lear Capital at 1-800-260-5075 or head over to leargg.com and check out their new silver shortage report. I've read it. I think it's great. Everyone can afford to own some silver. It's around $30 an ounce, and if it goes back to record highs, you'll be happy that you bought some. Remember, the dollar's losing value, and you can ask Lear while you're talking to them about your IRA or your 401k, and they'll tell you how you can swap dollars that's losing value with silver that's increasing in value. They specialize in this, so take advantage of the free information with no pressure to buy. Again, it's 1-800-260-5075 or leargg.com. Thanks to Lear Capital for supporting this channel. All right, on June 23rd, 2024, a large group of pro-Palestinian protesters gathered in the center of Los Angeles's largest Jewish neighborhood, blocking the entrance to the, I'm going to butcher these names, the Adass Torah Synagogue, while physically assaulting and shouting anti-Semitic epithets at Jewish residents of the neighborhood. The protesters, many of them wore masks like all of those tough guys and gals who are, heroes for their cause but don't want to be identified. They brought a bunch of flags and signs and bullhorns, batons and pepper spray in a display that was so bad that even Joe Biden was awake long enough to condemn the incident. Now, while the Hamas-supporting mob began rampaging through this neighborhood, a resident named Ronan armed himself with a knife and left his home to confront these anti-Semitic protesters. Now, that might cause some to pause and say he should have stayed at home or, relative safety of his home, but we've seen how these mobs have acted before and just how violent they can get. We've also seen how they've gone into homes in other countries and, slaughtered innocent people. Now, many will also say that he acted to defend his community and protect the lives of the less prepared. Now, Ronan, who is a former IDF sniper, owns a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver, but since he lives in the American communist capital of California, he was unable to legally leave his home with his firearm thanks to their unconstitutional gun control laws. I would have, and many people would have as well, but he was following the law. Many other local Jewish residents also joined Ronan in the streets to defend their community against the mob, and they were also in the same scenario he was in. California's BS edicts prohibited these residents from protecting their community and possibly their lives with firearms. If this were to happen in any other state that does not violate people's constitutional right to keep and bear arms, or more importantly, if police would actually support and defend the Constitution and not enforce unconstitutional illegal gun laws, then this would have been nipped in the bud. Now, as this madness ensued outside of the synagogue, an armed Jewish security team, I'm going to again butcher the name, known as Magen or Magen, M-A-G-E-N, A-M. They showed up, and they were able to prevent the mob from entering and damaging the synagogue. Now, Magen has provided Los Angeles Jews with firearms training as well as security guard certifications so that they can carry firearms openly and defend their synagogues and other institutions in Los Angeles, California. So, being a lawful resident of America behind that imaginary dotted line doesn't afford these citizens the ability to arm themselves. They just become victims. That's what Gavin Newsom wants. Now, the rabbi Abraham Cooper said this on social media. He said, "Bottom line, Thank God for Magen Am, who maintained professionalism throughout. Without them, I believe the synagogue could have been easily breached by our enemies. The Second Amendment is an effective tool. No, it's our right to keep our own communities safe from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And this is what domestic enemies look like. They're often Americans who are wanting to do evil to others, regardless of the cause. Now, if this armed team had not shown up, there's no telling what might have happened to these residents of the neighborhood or even the synagogue. But good on them for defending their own. That is what the Second Amendment provides. And that is what the anti-gun communists are trying to convince Americans they don't need. They think you don't need guns. They think the Second Amendment is archaic. They want you to be a victim. Guys and gals, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but it's our job, it's our duty to have those tough conversations with others, given this type of incident right here, of how the Second Amendment saved lives. We know that the Second Amendment saves lives millions of times a year when people use their own firearm in self-defense against evil people wishing to do harm to others. We just need to start telling more people about it, and we can slowly start to change hearts and minds. And I'm hoping you'll do that with me. I appreciate y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you want more information about the Second Amendment. Arm up. Stay armed. Don't let fake dotted lines on a map cause you to lose your life. Appreciate y'all. Take care.